The chair now recognizes the gentleman from Pennsylvania's 13th District for 5 minutes for questions.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, for holding this important hearing. The topic of this hearing comes at a unique moment, the semi-quincentennial of the United States. This is a time to reflect on how far we've come as a nation over the past 250 years and to look ahead to where we're still going. The United States leads on the world stage when it comes to technology. We have cemented our status among top nations in technological advancement and have achieved a level of global competitiveness that will allow us to secure our leadership in this critical space for decades to come. As we approach this 250 landmark, we must continue to evaluate ways to foster innovation and enhance that opportunities that we've been able to explore. We cannot grow complacent. We must keep innovating, we must keep building, and we must keep competing. Mr. Durbin, this Congress, I introduced the Secure Data Act, this comprehensive federal privacy legislation that will protect consumers, that will enable beneficial uses of data, and give businesses the certainty that they need. Finding a path forward on federal privacy reform will end the state patchwork that currently stifles innovation and creates uncertain pathways for emerging technologies when it comes to data. Personal data plays a part in how technology is commercialized, including the technology discussed during the hearing today, such as alternative reality, robotics, and open source AI. Mr. Durbin, how does a comprehensive federal privacy framework like the Secure Data Act support the commercialization of new technology?
Well, Mr. Joyce, thank you for the question, and thank you for your leadership on the Secure Data Act as well. We appreciate that it does provide that national framework, and as noted in my testimony, we've got more than 20 states that have gone in separate directions, on privacy rules and AI rules that doesn't help any of the companies involved in here.
So that is a patchwork of 20 states.
Correct.
How does that patchwork inhibit innovation?
Some of the startup companies, the small businesses that are engaged in the marketplace here, have a very difficult time having to comply with different sets of ruls.
So without a federal framework, we are truly stifling the innovation of the small companies, of the entrepreneurs.
Yes, stifling the innovation and loading enormous costs on top of them as well. I mean, even right now, the California law itself that estimates that each small business ends up paying $16,000 additional each year.
As a doctor who represents rural Pennsylvania in Congress, I know the importance of medical providers having access to cutting-edge technology that improves health and well-being for all of my patients and all of my constituents. Modern technology has truly revolutionized healthcare, from MRI imaging with PET and CT scans to ultrasound diagnostics, wearable cardiac monitors. These medical tools all rely on chips. Common devices such as pacemakers, defibrillators, cochlear implants, and portable diagnostic tools such as glucose monitors and insulin pumps are powered by semiconductors. Mr. Chilson, these advanced medical devices rely on semiconductor memory chips, and recent shortages have exposed the vulnerabilities in supply chains. What can we do to address the memory chip shortage to ensure that our healthcare sector has the access to these critical technologies?
So thank you so much for the question. I also share your optimism about the role of technology in healthcare sector. It's one of the best applications, one of the most promising applications.
It is an incredible tool in the doctor's tool belt.
And the chip issue that you're raising, I think it is key for Congress, and the bill that's at issue here could dig into this. As I mentioned earlier, the memory space is complicated, and not all the chips that you're talking about that are in medical devices are the ones that have huge demand because of data centers. They might be affected by that demand, but it's not a one-to-one substitution. And so I think there has to be, as part of this inquiry that Congress and that the draft discussion bill talks about, we should examine how does this affect specific sectors like the medical sector, like the medical device sector, which is so promising and which we certainly would not want a constrained supply of chips to slow down.
Could you imagine 250 years ago in Philadelphia, where the framers of the Declaration of Independence and the United States Constitution were meeting in the hot summer, which included farmers and businessmen, and yes, 4 doctors were part of that equation. These 250 years have shown that America is always looking to improve and to maintain that competitive edge. Securing U.S. technology leadership right now will ensure that we can continue to invest, to innovate, and invent for another 250 years. Thank you, Mr. Chairman, for allowing me to participate today, and I yield the remainder of my time.